Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, I have found a very special pattern on Bitcoin that more or less proves, or at least indicates very strongly, that we're about to see a major bullish breakout on Bitcoin. Over a year ago, in July of 2018, Bitcoin followed a pattern uncannily similar to the one that we find ourselves in today and ended up breaking bullish. Funnily enough, though, Bitcoin was in a far more bearish state back then than it is now, indicating an even higher chance of breakout. So guys, in this video, we're going to be discussing this pattern. We're going to be going over some of the fundamentals of technical analysis. We're going to be talking about why a breakout very well may be happening here, and hopefully by the end of the video, you'll be walking away with a better understanding of Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency markets, and how to trade this market moving into the next couple of days. Before we dive on into it though, guys, I do want to mention that due to popular demand, we will be extending the sale on CT2A through Monday, January 20th, which is, as you know, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. You guys have been asking me in Discord, in the comments section, in emails to extend the sale, so we will be extending it a couple more days. But anyway, guys, without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Guys, when I say these two markets bear a striking resemblance, I really do mean that. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. As you guys may know, and as I've been talking about wanting to make a dedicated video on for a little while, Bitcoin moved into a head and shoulders pattern right here over the last several months. The left shoulder actually going as far back as November of last year. From there, guys, Bitcoin rallied, traded sideways into a consolidation pattern, which we broke bullish out of, and moved up in here into all of these trend lines and entry positions that we have cluttering my chart. From there, Bitcoin has been testing and rejecting off of the level around $8,900 to $9,000 many times over the last several days. As you can see, we rejected once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5, 6, 7, 20 times. I don't know. There's a lot of rejections up here. Bitcoin has been testing this level of resistance over and over and over and over again, and that's important. So let's go ahead and flash back to the other market. Because guys, just like in our current market back here in 2018, Bitcoin moved into a head and shoulders pattern with a left shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. We trended upwards. We traded sideways in a bit of consolidation in a trading channel, whatever you want to call it. And guess what we did in here, guys? We rejected off of this same level of resistance time and time again. We saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then on the 11th attempt, we actually finally broke bullish. You guys have probably seen me reference this level here for more than a year on the channel because I like to use it to teach about how Bitcoin tests resistance. As those of you in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy will know from this video right here, support and resistance, we talk about at length the concept of multiple tests on support and resistance. And we talk about how when you go up and you test a level of resistance many times, or a level of support many times, the more times you test it over 3 times, because that's a triple top or bottom, the more times you test it 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, if you test a level of support or resistance that many times, it's generally going to break. And that's what we saw back here, guys. The bulls just kept slamming their head against the level of resistance time and time again until we finally broke it. And guys, that's a similar thing to what's happening right now on Bitcoin. We'll get to the inverse head and shoulders pattern part here in a second. Because guys, as you can see, just as what was going on back in that market, Bitcoin is testing this resistance over and over again. There's like 7 or 8 tests over there, at the very least 3 right here. You could really consider that a lot more. Bitcoin has been testing this zone of support really in between about $89,000 to $9,000 quite a lot over the last several days. And as we saw back then, eventually it resulted in a breakout, and I think the same thing's going to happen here on Bitcoin. Not only that, guys, Bitcoin keeps putting in these uptrends of support also. We keep making higher highs and higher lows. We had this uptrend of support, then we couldn't hold it, so we made this uptrend of support. And now, guys, I don't know if you see it, I have my chart visions telling me it's there. We have this uptrend of support right here as well. Bitcoin is trying really hard to break bullish, and it's really funny that we're doing that because, guys, we've already gotten above most of the resistance that Bitcoin was looking at. And that's actually one of the key differences between our market now and the market back in the day, back in 2018. Back in 2018, Bitcoin wasn't above most of the levels of resistance. Bitcoin was trying to end a bear market in the same manner that we're doing now. It failed. The reason it failed is because when it was having that crucial breakout point, it wasn't already above all the levels of resistance. As you guys will probably know, we've already gotten above a plethora of different levels of resistance. The only one that we're really still testing is the 200 daily simple moving average. Back here, guys, Bitcoin actually rejected the 200 daily simple moving average. We weren't testing it. We ran up to and rejected off of it. This time, if we do break bullish, we're more than likely going to be breaking through it. The same thing is said about the 20 weekly exponential moving average that you guys know I love to death. If we look at it, we're going to see back here, Bitcoin was testing that 20 EMA when it was in that consolidation to break bullish. But now the market that we're looking at, Bitcoin's already above that moving average, so we don't really have to worry about it anymore. Bitcoin is in a far more bullish position now than it was back in July of 2018. And guess what what happened in July of 2018. Bitcoin still broke bullish. Other similarities include that Bitcoin was in a bear market as we are right now, and Bitcoin had also just completed an inverse head and shoulders pattern. If you guys will remember back to what we showed you earlier on in the video, Bitcoin had gone through an inverse head and shoulders pattern right here. It had broken the neckline, and it was rallying and trying to rally even farther. The exact same thing is happening right here, guys. Bitcoin had an inverse head and shoulders pattern. We rallied, now we're rallying again, and we're trying to break bullish again. Remember, we broke bullish back then with almost the exact same market, except back then we were even more bearish than we are now. So what's to say that we're not going to break bullish this time? Now, I want to take a second and make a very important point about technical analysis. The previous actions of a market do not guarantee what is going to happen today. At the end of the day, technical analysis is just a tool that the vast majority of traders use, and because the vast majority of traders use, normally is very accurate. But at the same time, guys, you got to realize there are other factors in play. There's fundamentals, there's whales, there is manipulation, maybe. I think it's overblown, but that is definitely a factor. Just because Bitcoin broke bullish in this same scenario a year and a half ago doesn't mean it's going to now, but based on everything that I've seen, it does make a very strong case for it. So I don't want you guys to walk away from this video thinking, oh, well, it did it once, it's definitely going to do it again. That's not necessarily true. There's no guarantees in cryptocurrency markets. Just keep that in mind. It is very important. Coffee is very important also, by the way, if you're trying to trade cryptocurrency markets. If you don't drink coffee, well, I hate to break it to you, but you'll never be profitable. Drink coffee. Oh, Jeb's trying to be funny again. Wow, what an idiot. Anyway, guys, the point is Bitcoin is in a very, very bullish position. We already knew that, though. So what's the takeaway from this video? The takeaway from this video is that Bitcoin has one level of resistance that it needs to break through, and we're off to the races. That is the level that you see on your chart right now, the 200 daily simple moving average. As you guys will probably know if you were in the market back then, because I was doing a lot of analysis on it here on the channel back then, Bitcoin rejected off the 200 daily simple moving average back in July of 2018. And because we rejected off the 200 daily simple moving average, the bear market continued for another 6+ months until we fell all the way down to $3,000. But guys, that doesn't have to be the same case today. If Bitcoin does manage to break bullish above the 200 DSMA, we're probably going into a new bull market. The 200 DSMA is trending to the downside, and we should be able to get through it today. And if we don't, guys, even if Bitcoin pulls back, rejects all the way down here to like $5,000, I don't care. Eventually, we're going to bounce, and we're going to rally, and it's trending to the downside, and we're going to break it. That's how these things go. Bitcoin is going to go into another bull market. If it's not in the next week, it's probably going to happen sometime this year. But at the moment, my money is on this week. So, guys, I want you to keep in mind that anything can happen in cryptocurrency, and that's why you need to be safe. These are my two entry positions at 91.25, maybe 91.50 or 91.75 for a long entry if you want to be a little safer, and then 8,400 for a short position if we start falling back to the downside, because if we reject here and we fall below 84, we're probably going all the way back down to like $7,000, so that'd be a good entry position for a short. I'm keeping both of these trades up, and I haven't entered either of them yet. I still consider this a no trade zone until Bitcoin decides which direction it wants to break out. And guys, like I said in the last couple of videos, there is a little bit of my gut that's telling me, you know, Jeb, I just feel like we're not going to break bullish, but all of the technicals are contradicting that feeling. So I'm still on the fence. I am still leaning bullish, but it's something that we're going to have to wait and see how it plays out. And that's why you want to be prepared for both scenarios, because even the most experienced technical analysts and traders and investors are not always going to be right. So you want to make sure you hedge against yourself as well as against the market. So guys, I hope you got some great value out of this video. If you did, there's a few things you can do to show your support. You can hit that like button and you can smash that subscribe button, guys. They're both getting kind of lonely down there because I haven't mentioned them in a couple of days. So go ahead and hit that like button if you did enjoy the video, only if you enjoyed the video. If you didn't like the video, go ahead and hit the dislike button twice so that I will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you didn't like the video. And guys, before we wrap it up, I do want to mention CT2A because you guys are loving the Academy right now. We've had over 100 of you join in the last week, which is crazy. And like I said, I've had people mention to me on all three mediums that I talk to you guys, comment section, Discord, and email. I've had like 5 or 6 people ask me, hey Jeb, can you extend the sale a little bit? I need a little bit more time to jump on in. And that is perfectly fine with me. So I will be extending it through Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which is Monday. So if you guys need a couple more days, go ahead and dive on in and get learning technical analysis from someone who has thousands of hours of experience in the market. I've been working in the market every single day for 2.5 years now. There's 34 videos and over 10 hours of content in the Academy. And guys, I did just about 15 minutes ago buy a Sony a6400. It should be here on Monday. And after that camera comes in, the revamp to CT2A will be starting about a week later. So if you guys want to get into the Academy before that revamp starts and before the price of CT2A increases, I'd recommend joining with the link in the description down below. Use January 2020 at checkout to get $40 off. You're going to get access to all current and future content. Plus, there's a 14-day money-back refund guarantee. Absolutely no questions asked. So guys, that is pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. But before we do, there's something very special that I want to say. And that is that I want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.